Hi, this is Steve from Office Experts. Today I'm going to be demonstrating our Document Creator program, which is an Access database that allows you to capture and store information of various kinds and generate Word documents from that information. The program allows you to create all kinds of documents such as quotes, proposals, various kinds of reports. There's an area within the program that lets you set up your own documents. These are generally made up of one or more Word templates that the database then assembles together using a modular approach. So I thought first I'd show you how easy it is to actually create a document once it's all been set up, and then once I've shown you a couple of those, I'll then go in and show you where you can actually create your own. The first kind of document I'm going to show you is a fairly simple one. It just consists of a single page in Word. So if I go over to the right where it says Add New Document, click on that, and it brings up a list of all the different types of documents that can be created. So I'm going to firstly create a simple proposal. So there's a bit of a description there. Click on that, and there's a bit of info to fill in first. This can all be customized. So I'll just set this up for ABC Company. Pop in a reference number, and then click Create Document. Alright, so it's set up the document, automatically captured the report date as well. You can see running down the left hand side there's a list of sections that this document is made up of. So as I mentioned before, this particular type of document, simple proposal, only contains one section. So each of these actually represents a Word document. There's only one now, but later on when I show you the detailed version, you'll see that there's actually more than one area listed here. So let's just fill in the info to go in the proposal body. There's some default text in there. I'm just going to pop in a bit of info. Okay, you notice there's a choose button there that actually lets me select from various predefined descriptions that I could select and then pop into this box rather than typing it manually. I'll show you that when I do the second one. There's also an option to choose an image. If I click choose here, I can select an image, and that will get inserted into the Word document when we generate it. So I'll just choose this one, which is just a screen capture of the program. Okay. Any additional info? Now bear in mind that each of these three bits of information I've just filled in, the description, the image and the additional info, they all have corresponding areas in the Word template. They've been marked with bookmarks so that the program knows where to actually slot in or insert this information. You'll notice up towards the top of this screen it actually mentions what Word document or template it's going to be using for this particular section. Alright, so we're ready to actually generate the Word report. So I'll click that button up the very top, starting up Word, and it's assembling the document. In this case, again, only one section. So here we can see the end result. We've got some of the information, the company name, the date, then there's the text that we typed in before, there's the image, and there's the additional information. So you can see it's quite easy to generate it once it's all been set up. Right, I can then save that document if I want to, or discard it. The document doesn't get saved in the database, just that information that we entered. So if you need to recreate the document with different information, I'll just close it. It's just a matter of coming in here and making adjustments and then regenerating it. When I press close, all that info is automatically saved. You can see it appears here in the main screen, so I can just bring that up whenever I want and regenerate if I want to. I also have an option to save as a copy. Save it as a copy, which will basically copy everything. If I want to create another report that is very similar to this with only maybe a couple of adjustments, could be a second revision or something like that. Okay, I'm going to create a second document now. This one is a more detailed version of the proposal, which has a few sections in it as opposed to just one that the previous one had. This one will have a cover page, a table of contents, the main body, like the one you just saw before, and also another page that actually lets us add multiple items for each proposal. For example, there could be a number of things that make up the proposal. Each one may have a description, it could have an image, it could have a price associated with it as well. There's all different variations that are possible. So let's create that one. So once again, I click Add New Document up the top. And this time I choose Proposal Detailed. Let's give it a name, some sort of reference number, and create document. Okay, so once again, it's popped in an automatic date. You can override that if you want to. Now, if we have a look down here in the sections, we can see we have 3 sections this time. First one is the table of contents. And as it says here, it doesn't require any information to be entered. So you actually have the ability to include sections where you don't actually need to input anything. It may just be standard text or table of contents. It could be terms and conditions, that sort of thing, where it's always the same text. So we don't need to use that one. Let's go to proposal body, which is the same as what you saw before. So let's add something into here. This time, instead of typing all that information into that box for the proposal description, I'm going to choose from a list of predefined options that we've set up in the background. Again, you have the ability to actually customize those. So I'll just click Choose over here on the right. This one's for a database, so I'll select that option, click OK. Pops that text in, and I can just fill in the rest. But it saves me a bit of typing. Also great if you have a lot of text you need to type in there on a regular basis, and it's always the same or very similar. Okay, so this one is for managing jobs and producing quotations. Okay, we might as well select an image again. I'll just pick the same one. And this program requires MS Access. Now let's look at the third section, Proposal Table of Items and Prices. So this is an example of where we can create a table that has descriptions, images, and costs. So let's have a look at that one. You can set up the database so that when you create new documents of certain types, some of these items are already filled in for you. I haven't done that in this particular example, so we're just going to add them manually. However, there is a shortcut, just like with filling in the proposal description before, how we could choose from a list of predefined items, we can do the same here. So I'm going to click on this little ellipsis button, and here's a couple that we've set up behind the scenes. So the first item I'll add in is database setup, so select that and OK. So it's brought that in with a description, no cost for this one, and images are automatically being included in that. There's the image, just the icon for Microsoft Access. You can change it to a different image if you want to pick any image that's on your server or on your computer. I won't do that now. So I could go in and customize this further if I wanted to, add my own price. So I'll just add in a standard price, and let's go to the next one and choose a second item. So installation. Okay, that one does have a price associated with it, but no image. But once again, I could go in and choose my own image if I wanted to. I won't in this case. Finally, I want to add an item for training. We don't have a preset option in there, so I can just type one in manually. Training of users. And we'll give that a price and no image for that. All right. So I'm about to generate the Word report for this one. Bear in mind that the resulting document is going to be somewhat longer and is going to contain these additional sections. So it will contain not only the table of contents, proposal body, and the table of items and prices in that order, but the template, the base template for the detailed proposal, also contains a cover page and headers, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's generate the report and see the end result. And this will give us progress of the sections it's adding. Once it's finished, the document should appear. Okay, I'll just zoom in a little bit. So here we have the title page I mentioned. That's built into the main template for the detailed proposal. Then we can see the first section over on the right, the contents. If I scroll down, we now have on the left the proposal description, much like the first time when we created the simple proposal. Then on the right you can see a summary of items, which includes the headings that we chose, the description, in this case an image, and the prices. We also have the ability to total up the prices, show a total at the bottom, but I haven't done that in this case. Also notice that there's a header on every page. In this case it just contains our logo. It could contain all sorts of things like the date or the name of the document, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'll close that and go back to the database. I'm not going to save it. Alright, so if I close this, I'm just going to take you into the settings area under the admin menu, where you can see some of how you actually set up these documents and tell the database what each document contains in terms of sections. So if I click admin menu, so here we have a list of the main templates. You've already seen the first two, the detailed and the simple. So if I just open up the simple one first. So you can see here's the title with the description, and these are what appear when you add the document in the first place. Remember when we clicked add new document, it presented us with a list of documents that we could choose from. So this information appeared in that list. Below that, Word document tells the database what's the main template to use, the one with the headers and footers, and then all the sections get inserted into that. In this particular case, only one section gets inserted, which is the proposal body. We've got a list of the different sections that are available that we've already set up. Those are set up over on the left-hand side under Document Sections, which basically lets you build up a list, tell the database what are the available sections, and then in this screen you assign the sections to each document. So in this case we've only got one. If I cancel out of there and show you the detailed one, you'll see that that's made up of 3 sections. And there's the description, the title, etc. again. So now if I go into the document sections area, this is the master list of sections, of course, that are available for insertion into a template. So I'll just show you one example, the table of contents. If I open that up, so we've just got a couple of bits. We have the ability to organize them into categories. If you notice behind it, each of the different categories, introduction, general and appendices, are all color coded. That's just to make it easier to find them when you're choosing them. There's a few bits of info here that control what fields in the database get inserted into what areas of the Word document. Because this is a table of contents, there's no user input needed, so none of this has to be filled in. So I'll just cancel out. If I go into the body, okay, so in this case you can see here once again we've got the name of it, where you can customize it, the Word document which tells the database which template to use for this particular section, and then below that we have a list of fields. There's the fields that are available in the database, and then alongside it we tell the database where in the document to insert those. So they're set up in Word as bookmarks. And another option here to say what type of data it is, if it's text, an image. There's a few other different options there as well. All right, we can also force that section to always start on a new page. If you untick that, then the section will continue on from the previous section without a page break. There's also an option here to say whether or not people can choose to remove this particular section from the document. So if we leave it unticked, it's basically compulsory. Right, if I cancel out of there. We also have a custom lists area. That's used for customizing those pop-up screens where you can choose the predefined text. Like for instance, when we were setting up the database before, we had the option to choose from preset proposal descriptions. So here's one of the choices, and here's the other one. You can also assign images, default prices. That was more relevant when we were in the area for setting up proposal items. And we had the database set up, and we had the installation, which before had a default price, which got carried over into the document when we made that selection. There's a lot of other options in here that let you customize the way documents are created, and you can use it to set it up so that you can create them more efficiently with less input, particularly when you're entering in the same type of information over and over and over again. So I hope that's given you a good idea of the capabilities of this document creator database. Remember that these examples have only been very simple. We can customize the database so you can create documents that have a lot more sections and are a lot more complex and sophisticated. Thanks for watching.